Mr. Eggplant presents...
Hey guys, Tyler here. Thanks for checking out my video. And in this video, we're going to continue to talk about another build for 8.1, which is my Unerring Vision build, which I have called in the comments and in my other video Unerring Shots, Unerring, I think I said Arrow. So it is Unerring Vision. We're going to be running with 3 of them, one on each of the items, both the shoulders, the helm, and the chest piece. And basically the goal for this is going to be to get as many critting aim shots in those windows as possible, and then after that to get as many true shots out as possible by using a lot of arcane shots, which I have done this several times on sims. I'm simming above I think it's 16.5k. Those are the last I looked. I can do another sim here. I continually do them every day, but I think I got around an average of 16.5 or so. And then I have done this on a couple of heroic bosses since I have already raided this week. I got up to like 15.7k I believe on Talic, and I actually died before the end of the fight. I was actually doing a drunk raid with a friend, and they unfortunately weren't taking it too seriously, so I ended up dying out of it, but that's alright. So we're going to start with an opener here in just 1 second, and we will go with a rotation, the actual talents for the build, which is going to be fairly similar, and then the AOE changes that you would make. For like example, this week for Mythic Plus, AOE is really important because it is both fortified and teaming. So let's get to that opener. Alright, so for the opener we want to make sure and have the hunter's mark on the target. We want to precast double tap, use our prepot, then precast aim shot, go with our proc, go with true shot, then aim shot, then arcane shot proc, then aim shot, then the proc, then aim shot, then the proc, then aim shot, then rapid fire, then aim shot, and then finally that is when we have left our window. Alright, and as for the damage for that opener, if you want to check it out really quick here, so I only got 7 aim shots off, including the what would have been the precast. However, I only crit on 4 of the 7, so that is above a 50%, which is nice, but it wasn't like I was relying on the crits to do damage. So I was still doing damage even though they weren't all crits. Like the steady aim build we had been running, you had to basically require yourself to always be fishing for that crit proc. So this one's a little bit more stable in those windows. Unfortunately, you do dip down, but we're going to talk about that near the end of the video on why you should run this build, especially when you're looking forward to the next raid. So let's go and talk about the talents that we use for this build. So Master Marksman is pretty standard for every marksman hunter now, because Murder of Crows actually makes the clunkiness, if we want to use that term, a whole lot worse, believe it or not. And the damage for the cooldown isn't that great. So we run with Master Marksman. So basically every time we cast that aim shot, we're going to get 1 or 2 procs of arcane shot that does the bonus damage. Well, one of those is going to be free now. So in our opener, it really allows us to do get basically an extra aim shot out, because you go aim shot, arcane shot, so it was free. Aim shot, arcane shot, which was free. Aim shot, arcane shot, which was free, and then the aim shot again. They need to stop calling everything shot and start with A and A. But so you saved what, 3 shots? So that's already 45 focus that you saved, which in turn got you a free aim shot, if you want to think about it that way. So that's the way I think about things, and you know, the damage doesn't lie. We just bursted up to like, what, I think 34k or so. So for level 30 talent, we go with Careful Aim. We'll talk about the AOE version of this here in just a few minutes. Then level 45 really doesn't matter, but Natural Mending is really good for raid scenarios. Level 60, I've been running with Hunter's Mark. As long as you're doing a pure single target, it's not terrible. You just throw it on it at the beginning. And there's actually a way, see if it'll let me. So you can actually put it on already a global cooldown. So what I'm going to do is, here, I'll move it for you guys just to make it easier so you guys can see it. So I'm going to cast aim shot, and I'm going to put this marksman or hunter's mark up at the same time. So I'm going to cast, and you put it at the last second, and it's on there. See, so we got our cast off, and we got our aim shot on. we got our aim shot cast off, and we got Hunter's Mark on. Now granted, you're not going to be able to do that all the time, but that's just something very easy that you can manipulate that global cooldown with. Anyway, back to the build. I run with post haste for level 75. I just like it because it gets you out of roots, snares, that sort of thing. Level 90, I run with double tap. The one thing you saw in that opener I hadn't been doing in the first go around, I precast double tap as well. So you can get it down to like 5 seconds, so that first cooldown is only going to be about 45 seconds in fight, which I didn't think of, and then kind of occurred to me as I was talking with my friend JB that why are we not doing this? And then calling shots, which makes this build really kick out the true shots, because this is basically like the snowshoes legendary from last expansion. So every time we cast arcane shot, including those free ones, it doesn't say it has to cost focus, it just says cast it. So every time we cast those, including the free ones, it takes 2.5 seconds off the final cooldown of true shot, which, you know, more true shots equals more damage, or equals more burst windows equals more damage. So as for the AOE version of this spec, here I'll just pick it here really quick. I had been running Streamline, and what did I say I was doing? I think I just switched those. The reason being, they changed the way explosive shot works, as you guys have seen in the patch notes and in my previous video. It's just a dot now, so we're just going to drop the dot on him. 3, 2, 1, kaboom, does some damage, and it's actually very good to, you know, if you have more than 3 targets. I'm usually the #1 DPS if there's three or more targets. Like, unless there's like obscene amounts of targets to where I can only hit 5. So between 3 and 5, I'm your man. And then basically you just use your stuff on cooldown. You use double tap on cooldown, and you use Streamline just because you can hit more things for longer. And that is particularly good for Mythic Plus, like this week for example, which you have Fortified Teaming. That is usually a terrible combination, but I was pulling usually, especially when I use True Shot on packs, like 25 to 40k depending on the packs that we were fighting. Alright, so you're probably wanting to know what you do in between those burst phases. So what I do is I use my aim shot on cooldown, obviously, but I try to get as many arcane shots as possible out, because that gets our true shot quicker. So anytime I get a proc of arcane shots, I never waste them. I will quote waste them during the burst window, but I will not cast an aim shot until I've used all the arcane shot procs. So I use rapid fire only when I need focus, so I don't use it on cooldown. I know a lot of people have been, and I feel like that's where we get the quote the clunkiness from, where everybody feels like they have to use rapid fire now, and I am included in that. But I'm finding that if I only use it when I need the focus, since they kind of nerfed, I believe, how much focus you can get from it. I don't recall it only giving me 10 focus for using it. I thought it was actually more than that. So that was one reason I thought it was going to be good in previous videos. My bad, I make mistakes. Oh well. I do put some steady shots in there every once in a while if this is on cooldown and I need focus, but I've never casted more than 2 or 3 steady shots at one time. Alright, so for the talent priorities for the in-between burst phases would go as follows. So you want your aim shot to always be on cooldown. You never want it to cap out on its 2 charges. You always want to use your arcane shot procs and get as many arcane shots in there as possible whenever both of your aim shots charges are on cooldown. I use rapid fire only when I require the focus, otherwise I don't. In AOE that would change obviously, but for a single target I only use it whenever I need it, and if focus fire is down, or excuse me, rapid fire is down and I can't cast anything else, I will cast steady shot. As for stat priorities, they're pretty much the same as in my previous video. I've just been going haste and mastery pretty close to each other, then crit, then versatility. I have seen some people doing some really high versatility builds, and those have been working, but they usually have a lot of gem slots. So it doesn't look like it really would work out for like a player who doesn't have a lot of gems slots for that extra damage. And then I still use the incendiary ammunition. I should have mastery on my rings. I still don't. I'm lazy, and the enchanter in my guild that I have do that for me hasn't been on. Alright, so the biggest thing to look forward to, and I know you guys are going to tell me. So this one burst really high, but those valleys are very low when you're in between phases, and I understand that. And I'm with gear and with agility, or your main stat, where those peaks are going to be higher and those valleys are going to actually be higher, if that makes any sense at all. With more main stat equals more damage you do, just how it works. Especially this expansion where one agility is like 10 times as good as any other stat, and that's what a lot of people have been using for like their pawn weights, that sort of thing. But the reason this is good, because right now this does run the 3 unerring visions, as I talked about. It's the first one here is like your meat and potatoes, then you have a secondary offensive one, then you have a defensive, then you have your Azerite empowerment. Well, for the new raid, which is coming out January 22nd, for example, there is an item like this. It's the 385 version, so it has the extra ring. I've talked about that in another video. What does this have, though? Unerring visions, which is great. Look where it is. It's on the second ring, and sometimes it's on the first ring as well. But that being said, you can run with 3 unerring visions, so having over 100% crit chance at for those last 5 seconds on trueshot, without sacrificing some of the other big abilities, such as this one, Focus Fire. So Focus Fire, so your rapid fire does an additional 3,800 damage over its duration and has a 30% chance to generate 2 additional focus for each shot. Each shot normally does 1. If you get 3 off that once in a while, it's only a 30%, I know, that becomes a much more important ability. I wouldn't use it during the true shots unless I absolutely needed to, but if you do use it in the rotation, it's only going to increase your DPS. Another example of one of the items that I will probably be going for at least is off of the Jade Fire Masters. So this one also has unerring visions on it, so you have that, so check. You want to the way I'm building this, you want to have 3. But then it has this ability here, which is Treacherous Covenant, which is a new one that's going to be, it's kind of one Samdi-esque. So your primary stat, i.e. agility, is increased by 334 while I'm above half health. If I will take 15 increased damage, while below 20%. So it's a live and die by the sword type thing. I will be going for this for sure because more primary stat is, slash main stat is really, really important. And I have no idea what just hit me. That's so weird. I just got some random buff during my video, so thumbs up for the buff, guys. I really just wanted to sum up this video really quick for you guys, and I do appreciate you guys checking out the videos. The last video got a lot of love, and I appreciate it, and I love, more than anything, the continued feedback from you guys. I know like Semi and a couple of other guys have constantly been leaving what they feel that works for them, and that's the whole goal, is that finding something that works for you as a player, and that's really my goal. I'm not a high-end mythic raider, I don't have mythic gear, but I do like to push myself to do my very best, and I hope that I help you guys even a little bit. So I know that this build, as I just said, has those peaks and it has the valleys, but if we continue to build or continue to get this playstyle under your belt, come January 22nd, when you get those items, or later, obviously you probably won't get them the first week, you get those items that give you both unerring and a bonus damage item, or bonus damage trait that will beef up those valleys. What we won't be doing, like, we could be doing a lot better damage now if we had them, but if we have them then, I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to bring you guys another video to show you how much damage marksman can really do, because I know I was not happy on Tuesday. I'll be realistic with you guys, I was not happy at all, and I'm not going Beast Mastery, not going Survival, even though Survival is best, but who cares, it's melee. But I'm going to be continually building new things. Even if this works, and let's say I'm top DPS in the world, right? I'm always going to continue to try to find something to do better. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely leave me your comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz if you appreciated it, and any feedback would be ideal and would be great. So until my next live stream or video, I'll see you guys later.